Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/WiseGuyRadio. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. That's at www.audibletrial.com, AUDIBLETRIAL.com/WiseGuyRadio. This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode number 41. This is Jay Michael, your host, and I am super pumped to be with you guys here today after a long weekend up on the road and traveling around and having all kind of fun technical errors when it comes to recording the show on the road. I just will say real quick that I have learned a lot just in a matter of 2 days on what it takes to try and record a podcast or even just anything on the road when there is a shitload of noise and people. And so that is why this show is coming out today. And today you guys are having, you'll see there's actually two shows coming out today, 41 and 42. So, whichever one you guys listen to first or back and forth, you'll see how we go about doing this. But I still wanted to make sure that this show is out and about. We actually recorded several times this episode, and due to background noise, bands playing, loud rain sounds, just all the above, it was a nightmare trying to record. So we said, let's go ahead and say F it and get this recorded when we get home on a better sounding quality recording. And that way you guys can have a better sounding show too. Just because I want this quality of the sound to be as best as possibly could be for you. So that being said, again, welcome to the show. This is episode 41, and today is our Friday show our Saturday show. And our Saturday show is more of our specialty show, and this week in particular, I wanted this to be more of a special show because it was geared towards our trip up north, and I say up north, going from west central Florida up to Tallahassee, which is around a 4.5-hour drive commute-wise up there. That my assistant Mike Dorr and I went up there for this demo, and we had a fucking blast. It was an amazing time. Gabe, who owns Tobacco Leaf Gallery, and they've been our smoke shop of the month, and still are until Wednesday this week. It was a great success. They were expecting around 400 people. I think they had up to 600 to 700 people. It was just super crazy and fun, and we got a lot of stuff made. There was, I think, 12 of us total that were up there blowing glass and demoing, and we all collabed and kind of, networked and played, and I got some things lined up, and including my very first sponsor, which I discuss in the next episode. But again, the new sponsor for this show, which is actually our very first sponsor, not just an affiliate, but an actual sponsor for the show, is Green Flash Glass in Tallahassee, Florida. And they are going to be, just kind of a side note, they're going to be at Big Galleria this week, Tuesday, Wednesday in Miami. For anybody going down there for the show, they are going to be at booth 918. So make sure you guys check them out. Also go check out their website, which is greenflashglass.com. And they are a business-to-business business, a B2B2B. They are wholesale strictly. So if you are a consumer and would like to have their glass, you go on their website. You can recommend through a letter filling out thingy that they have to let them know what shops in your area you'd like to see their glass being carried. Or if you're a shop listening to this, just go ahead and contact them or go to the website and you can order directly through them. But we are super pumped about that. I will be having Jeff, who is the owner of the company, on next Monday as our Artist of the Week to discuss the company and the branding and the future of this relationship, as well as some future plans that they had going on, which was something him and I talked about and was pretty exciting information and news that I thought you guys were going to love to hear. And I'm not sure exactly how much they can talk about because of some legalities and contracts and what have you. But that being said, still, it's going to be exciting to have them now part of the show. So there you go. Green Flash Glass is our newest member of the Wise Guy family as a sponsor, and it's helping me compensate my time that I do for you guys which makes a huge difference. I would do this for free every day if I could afford it. And as we know, I also being a full-time glass artist and dad and husband, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but I still love this process and informing you guys and helping you guys out and the feedback I've been given. So it all comes together, and it's a labor of love and a passion I have that I will continue to do as long as I can to still do it and have a voice to do it. So again, back to our trip. So through the process of the trip, and when you go to a demonstration, my assistant Mike and him and I spent about 3 days making a list, checking it twice, and we saw who was naughty and nice. And because of that, we were pretty much organized and prepared for this trip. But today's episode is going to be the 5 keys that you can use to having a successful demo. And these are very important areas that you need to look into, especially when you're doing demonstrations that are out of town or out of your area, that are going to be in an unfamiliar environment in a sense as well. And also because a lot of smoke shops are now heading towards the direction of having demonstrations at their stores, whether out in a parking lot in under a tent type of setup, or actually in their studios, that they actually have like a studio in the store, like how they have in Tobacco Leaf. But Tobacco Leaf for this week, the weekend party on Friday night, they had like a 40 or 50-foot tent, circus tent set up that we were under just in case it rained. There was a live band that was playing reggae under it. It was just a lot of fun. So, but it's definitely important to know these things, this list of ideas to cover your ass, so that way when you go do a demo, you know exactly what you're expecting. There's nil to no stress really involved in the process, and then you can just focus on having fun. On having fun and it being a successful demo. It's really important. And pardon my yawn there. I'm going to try not to edit any of the show, so I'll be leaving that yawn in there. So I'm still catching up from this weekend. But so that being said, guys, so here is our list for the 5 keys to a successful demo. And again, these aren't necessarily pertaining to you specifically, but just an overall general idea of steps to take in order to be successful at whatever it is that you're doing for demonstration. Take this list. You can make it arranged to yourself or whatever you need to do to adjust it. But again, this is set up for the way I run a show and the way I do things to make it the whole entire process that much more smooth. So the very first thing that you want to make sure you take care of, first and foremost, is the business side of things. Establish your payment, your compensation, and dates of the demo, and do not go to the second step until you have this set in stone. It's so important to make sure that your time is taken care of, and there's so many different ways of going about taking care of your compensation. Some artists have a set fee that they charge just for showing and making an appearance. Some set up times where you not only are paid for your time, but you're also paid for the piece that you're making or pieces that you're making. So you want to kind of figure out how you want to go about doing that. Myself personally is how I do it. I have a general set of what I charge for showing up to a demonstration, and then whatever I make, I also then sell to the shop at a wholesale price. And a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times, I've actually sold already ahead of whatever it is I'm making to someone in the audience or a guest or somebody that's there specifically to buy the demo piece. Because a lot of times for shops, the demo piece is generally a very unique item and can become a collector's item as well for those out there that collect specific artist glass, or people that are a fan of your work that want to come and see you work. And remember, this demonstration is the guests that are there. Some may not know who you are, but they will get to know you as you're there. But a lot of them are there to see you specifically. So remember that when you're doing a demo. So make sure before you even go to step 2 that you establish the compensation and payment for what it is you're doing, and also the times and dates for it all. It's super, super important. So after you're done with the business side of things, the second step is to make all of your arrangements for transportation and accommodations. This depends all on the locale of the shop. Whether you're flying or driving, both transportation and accommodations are crucial to establish the foundation for the trip. Also find out what the shop will be supplying. For example, will they have a kiln, gases, tent, for electrical, etc. This information is crucial to be able to move on to step 3. So make sure that you have all that stuff checked out, because if you're flying out of town, you need to make sure that all that stuff, all your gases, your kiln, all that stuff's taken care of, because obviously you're not going to be flying with a kiln and oxygen tanks and what have you. All you got to do is just pack up your torch and your tools. A lot of people use a Pelican case that holds their torch. And you can also make sure that you can tape it up, write on there exactly what it is that's in the box, specifically a list, so that way that there's no having to open it, or if they do need to open it, they can see that your list that you have covers the basis of what's in the case. So just a little tip there as well. So number 2 is make all the arrangements for transportation and accommodations. And then once you get that taken care of and set in stone, then number 3 allows you to then plan out your demonstration based on the arrangements that are being made. And also, it's a good idea for you to begin to plan out the actual demonstration, to kind of plan ahead of what it is you're going to be making. Sometimes I just show up to the shop and get just kind of an inspiration and start cranking away. Sometimes also you'll have folks that will request something specific that you can make for them if you'd like to. If that's not your cup of tea, then just go there with a plan and just make what you got to make. But again, you can't have any of that taken care of if 1 and 2 are not done in the list. So business first, arrangements and transportation and accommodation second. Third is plan out your demonstration. Once you have your demonstration planned out, you can then create an itemized list, which is step 4. And with this itemized list, it is all the materials and supplies that you'll need to bring. If you're flying, call ahead to the airline and ask what their requirements are when traveling with with such equipment that you're going to be bringing, like I was saying before. And again, the Pelican case is probably a version of a Pelican hard case that you can hold all your tools and torch in is essential, because that way you can travel. You know that things are then there padded and safe, and that way when you show up and pick up your stuff from that luggage claim. Holy shit! I am so sorry, guys, for yawning. Man, fuck. That way, when you get your stuff off the luggage pickup, then everything's good to go and safe. So just kind of an idea. Just make an itemized list, and when you do make your itemized list, go over everything that you would normally work with in your studio and put it in together, and just make sure you have all your stuff, and check it and double check it and triple check it if you need to. And then step 5 is just have fun and be entertaining. Don't be afraid to talk to the guests that are there, and especially again because your audience is there to see you. They're not there to see necessarily. I mean, I shouldn't say they're not there, because some people that again are there are just there because there's live glass blowing and they're not really sure who the hell you are. But when they get there, if you have a good rapport and you are entertaining and you talk with the audience and talk about what it is that you're making, and as you're making it, it really will build a relationship with those out there. And then the people who are not familiar with who you are then familiar with who you are. And it's a pretty big deal, which makes a lot of fun. So just some things to think about. Again, this was a quick list of things, but I wanted you guys to think about it. So again, number 1 is your business, the business side of things. Make sure that you know what the compensation is, that you have completely 100% agreed with the smoke shop. If you need to make a letter and send it to them and have them electronically sign it or something of that nature to guarantee and agree on something as a contract, then do that. And something to think about too, we are going to be writing up some kind of generic contracts for you guys to download for situations like this. So that way, it's just not word of mouth. It's actually, signed in blood, so we're all on the same page. So make sure your business is taken care of. And then number 2, make sure all your arrangements, your transportation, accommodations. If you're flying into a town that you're not familiar with, is the shop owner going to pick you up? Do you need to call an Uber or a taxi? Are you staying at a local hotel? Are you going to stay with the owners that are putting the show on? Do you have friends in the area that you can stay with? There's different things you can do. If you are going to need to stay at a hotel, try and work it out with the shop owner for them to cover that as well. And also your plane ticket. If you have to fly, make sure that you have that covered as well. Don't just say, okay, my plane ticket's going to cost me $250 round trip. My hotel's going to cost me $150 for the night. So there's like $400 right there alone. And you're only charging $300 for your time. You're actually kicking yourself in the nuts, or whatever you have down there, male or female, and you're wasting your time. Time is money. It's as much as we love doing this stuff for free. If it's for a charity event, it's a whole different situation. I will fly anywhere in the world for a charity event. If it's for a demonstration where you're the performing artist, then you need to be paid for your time, and for everything else is covered. So keep that in mind. Make sure everything's covered. Number 2, make all your arrangements. We went over that just now. Number 3 is plan out the demonstration based on the arrangements that were previously made, knowing now that the shop has a big kiln, so you can work on a bigger piece. If they have a small kiln, make sure you know what the dimensions inside the kiln are, so you can kind of start planning out what it is you're going to make. Number 4, again, is create your itemized list of everything that you need to bring with you. Tools, equipment, stickers, everything you need. Oh, God, why can't I stop yawning? I hope you guys are not yawning along with me because I know how contagious yawns are. And if you are, I apologize. This is like embarrassing. So, and number 5, make sure you have a time of your life and have fun with it. Just have fun. Don't take it so damn seriously. Understand that if you fuck up on stage and things break, that most of the time the people that are watching you have no idea that you fucked up. I can't tell you how many times I've been on stage at Disney in front of thousands of people that something broke or an Olaf head broke off. I mean, hell, just the other night at Tobacco Leaf, I was making a piece, and my lighting where I was at wasn't too good. We actually brought lighting just in case we needed it, and we eventually hooked it up. But I went to go knock a punty off to then finish up the bottom of this vessel I was making. And when I knocked my punty off, the connection that I had at the top, basically there was a bottom of this vessel and then a neck. It actually came apart at the weld at the area of the connection, and also my blowpipe popped off. All 3 areas came off at one time in front of a crowd of people. Now I was able to pick everything up off my bench and immediately get it hot and put it all back together and save the day like a rock star. But it was still slightly embarrassed. I got a little sweaty. I won't deny it. It wasn't not fun, but it happens, and it happens all the time. So just make sure that you can go with the flow and you don't throw a tissue fit and get pissed off. Just laugh it off because it cannot be taken seriously. It's got to be taken just that you're having fun. Oh, God. So, guys, oh, man. So I'm going to stop yawning in your ears and let you all go. But just to understand that these 5 things are very important to have a successful demonstration. This is a quick show for you guys, like 15, 20-minute show. But I still find that these topics are all very important and crucial. So in the show notes, you can look it up. You can also print this off our newsletter we'll be putting out this week. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. This has been a quick, short episode, number 41. And again, love you guys as always. And thank you so much for the support. We are reaching a milestone this month. Every month the downloads are getting more and more and more. And as long as they keep going up, it makes me smile. And just honestly, I'm still kind of blown away by the progress that the show's made in just the 3 months that it's been up. But there you go. So, all right. You guys take care. And we will talk to you soon. Love you guys. Have a wise day. Take care. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. If you have any questions, comments, or remarks, please leave them in the show notes page area where it says comments. We'll see you soon. Have a wise night.